Hi. I woke up this morning, as I do, most mornings, and sat down at the breakfast table to eat my breakfast before work. Bleary-eyed, typical, just, yeah, I'm a human being, honest. And I was sitting there, opened up my phone, checked out YouTube, see what was going on. And this video here, this was the thumbnail. This was the first thing that I saw. Holy Final Fantasy XIV story and lore. Shadowbringers changes everything. Everything, you say. Now, I love Brian and Chris over at Work to Game. I think they're doing great things in terms of bringing a community together and creating a positive community, but their titles are getting a little bit clickbaity. And I'm not a huge fan of clickbait, as much as I know it drives views. I mean, what, 15,000 views? Of course people are going to be checking that out. But it's like, well, what? What changes everything? What do they know that I don't? And then, of course, it twigs to me that last night, whilst I was desperately trying to catch up on sleep, it's E3. E3's going on, and Square Enix have got a panel, I believe, at E3. So I was like, oh, has something interesting dropped? So I carried on scrolling down and found Shadowbringers launch trailer is here. Should probably take a look at that, really. But, of course, it's 4.5 minutes long. It's like, I've got to go to work. I can't make a video watching a launch trailer because I've got to go to work. So, I've had to wait all day to take a look at this to find out what changes everything. Whatever. Never mind. It'll be fine. So yeah, I'm going to watch the Shadowbringers launch trailer now and find out just what has changed everything story-wise. Okay, let's take a look at this. Hopefully this will work.
Peggy 16.
Peggy 16. So this is mimicking the start of the...
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night?
So this is the first where obviously...
100 bleeding years ago. That's when.
Okay, this is not going to be a typical reaction where I watch it all the way through because I realise that I'm well behind the times now. This trailer's been out for hours. So a joke about him being a dark knight, and obviously on the first they've not seen any dark nights. Because it's always day for 100 years. It's one of the biggest jokes. 100 years. So it's not been all that long since the Flood of Light has taken over. And I'm assuming this is Minfilia. Does this mean that time is different on the first in terms of how things are progressing?
In that chaotic no man's land between realms, time and space roar and blend in unexpected ways.
So, between realms, time and space blend in unexpected ways. So we can be expecting some time-shifting elements and maybe, at some point in the story, some actual maybe instances in that void between realms, which I think would be particularly cool.
What Urianger saw was the future.
So Urianger has become an astrologian on the first, and therefore he's read things in the cards? I'm not going to be able to pause
That's how
this.
the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Path of the flood.
Just like the
Once
voice
change is
sense,
wrought, there is no going back.
like the music. Across time and space, a voice beckons the Warrior of Lights. Which
The
we're
eternal
assuming...
light of these creatures has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place, born of the self-same ether, relinquished by its predecessor.
So, just like when the Void Scent died, the ether that they release is returned to the Void and reformed. The same thing is happening with these Sin Eaters. They are the same thing, the same premise. The idea that it's a constant cycle of reincarnation, I suppose. And you can't deal with that. If they keep on coming back, what can you do? Primordial lights. Ooh.
That's him. That's Volthree.
Volthree? He's a large lad.
Sin Eaters are part of Yulmor's society. But they must be fed with ether. Living ether.
Ooh. So Yulmor, which is Alt-Limsa, I suppose, the Sin Eaters, the void scent of light, are part of society, and they must be appeased and fed. So the hierarchy, because there are still things living on the first, as opposed to the void where the 13th was completely taken over. There's nobody left there to appease. They're still trying to hold out. And Alphino here, who... Is it just me, or is Alphino taller? Has quite some time passed? Is this part of this time-shifting thing and holding us back? With a little bit of a pained look on his face there, the truth must be known. This changes everything. Tancred? Ishtola? Alice? I'm assuming that's the young reincarnated Minfilia. The question was asked, why is she so young compared to what we last saw? Well, I mean, if Hydaelyn is light, the god of light, though, are there really any gods in Final Fantasy XIV? I mean, the gods of the primal, the gods of the beastmen are just primals, and what's to say that Hydaelyn and Zodiac and all of that aren't just like super powerful tiers above levels of that? I mean, people have been using Hydaelyn's name and referring to her as a she for a very long time. So, anyway, is this what's happened with Minfilia? Has she been reincarnated as younger?
This world's beyond saving.
So there we go then. This expansion we are losing. Nice little alchemical diagram. Is that one of the umbral? The elements. Yeah, astral, umbral, lightning, earth, blah, blah, blah. Those are the typical classic elements which we've seen before.
Like those who try to...
This is Urianger. So clearly he has, with this glimpse into the future. And let's be honest, Urianger needed some character development, because Urianger has just been that guy that spouts cryptic stuff in a really silly voice for quite some time. The only interesting thing that Urianger has really done in 2 expansions is his little bit of betrayal in Heavensward, where he kind of sided with the Warriors of Darkness, or at least double agented it. Excuse me. He's really not done much of anything else. That's Rak'Tika, we're assuming. Ooh, that was a fairy, which we'll skip back to.
Has had its fill of heroes.
This world has had its fill of heroes. Hello, Solace. I don't think we've seen Solace's Ascian rune before. It'll be interesting to see if anybody actually knows which Ascian he is being inhabited by. Because, of course, Solace himself is a clone. But the Ascians founded Garlemald. They founded the Empire. That may have given us a clue as to which of the original Ascians from the source that he actually is. Because isn't it Lahabrea and Elidibus? Possibly. It's been a while since I've looked at which Ascian's which. Some enemies showing off. This is Innocence, I think his name is. Clearly a raid boss.
everything
Was that-
we did. Everything we gave. What was it for?
So was that what's his face talking? The Warrior of Darkness, the original one that we met, whose name has completely escaped me. I'll put it up on the screen. This idea about, you know, why did we even bother? It sounds like something he said back in patch 3.4. So some new job actions. Epic music. They really like showing off the Kurabus in these trailers, but of course it's, you know, it's a big angelic figure. They're undoubtedly going to show off things that are so obviously representative of what is, you know, symbolically holy and light. And light, of course, traditionally speaking, in most religions, is a good thing, a positive thing. Whereas, as has been expressed throughout Final Fantasy XIV, light and darkness are two sides of the same coin. They are not good and bad. They are just there. And too much of one is just as bad as too much of the other. And that's what's happened to the first. It is going to become a void of light. Become what you must.
How many?
Ah. So that is Minfilia, the word of the mother. This is who we assumed to be Minfilia, but maybe he's going to go into this younger person. Or she's got a dagger as well. Ah, nice boots.
Years have I waited for this moment.
So I'm just going to have to skip that back a little bit because I missed what it was saying.
How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one possessed of her blessing. For you.
Interesting emphasis on her, which I'm assuming is Hydaelyn, because realistically, Hydaelyn is the goddess of light. This is her problem. You know, a world that is being swallowed by light. That's part of her issue. This isn't Zodiac's doing. This is a world where Zodiac has failed, in a way. May potentially with the same results, that, you know, there'll be a calamity and the first will have to be absorbed back into the source. But there's still 30 seconds of this trailer left.
Through prayer and sacrifice, the will of the star was made manifest.
Through prayer and sacrifice. Hold on.
I'm sorry, I can only assume I misheard, but it sounded an awful lot like you were implying both Zodiac and Hydaelyn are not gods, but...
They are gods after a fashion, yes. The
What have I just said?
eldest and most powerful of primals.
But yeah, we've kind of known that for ages, really. Is that what they're talking about that changes everything? Because that doesn't change anything, guys. Yeah, but we've known about this for a very long time. You know, this idea that the reason why we can't be tempered by primals is because we are tempered by Hydaelyn. Or blessed, I suppose, is the term. But of course, the Beastmen, when they are tempered, they believe they've been blessed as well, just like we believe we've been blessed. Is that the revelation that I'm supposed to take away from this? Because yeah, we knew this already. There's been loads of hints about, you know, the nature of gods and divinity. All the stuff to do with Tsukiyomi, you know, made us rethink our point of view on primals. Ravana was the same. Bismarck was the same. Thordan, especially, made us reconsider the nature of primals. I'm going to watch that again.
Through prayer and sacrifice, the will of the star was made manifest.
Yeah, so through will and sacrifice. So that's the same way any primal gets summoned. The sacrifice of crystals and the will and desire of the people. You know, in Tsukiyomi's case, it was, you know, the ether and her madness and desire for revenge on her brother, adopted brother. Bhavana, Lakshmi. You know, all of this is not massively new, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be a bit of a revelation.
Sorry, I can only assume I misheard.
Certainly is to the characters. And here we have, you know, we've got these kind of primordial depictions of Zodiac
Sounded an awful lot like you were.
And Hydaelyn. You know, two sides of the same coin who couldn't coexist, and therefore Hydaelyn shattered everything and cast him out and banished him. And I'm assuming this is the sundering taking place?
Implying both Zodiac and Hydaelyn are not gods. But
It's like even the 12. You know, the 12 don't exist in a manner that, you know, people think of them. If one of the 12 was to appear in response to prayer, it would be as a depiction of expectation, just like Alexander was, you know, what the goblins expected it to look like. When Louis Soir tried to call on the 12 to re-imprison Bahamut, he wasn't summoning a primal then. He was summoning sigils that represent them, and thus avoided the possibility of tempering. That was part of his plan, I think. Isn't that right? Am I speaking with certainty about things that we're not actually certain about? Or have I just thought ahead? It's possible that this is actually all news, and this is shocking and surprising to people. I'm not one of them.
They are gods after a fashion, yes. The eldest and most powerful of primals.
Yeah, I guess because this is right at the end of the launch trailer, that this is supposed to be a big surprise to people. I don't know. Either way, let's go back and take a look through some things. So we've got, yeah, there's that cave again with kind of some early cave drawings. We've got, because they look like anima. They look like the kind of little anima eggy type things that if you've done the Heaven's Ward anima weapons relic quest line, that's what these look like. Was this then? This must have been them before, and this is them after. So this is, you know, this is before the split when kind of Zodiac and Hydaelyn were kind of one before they shattered, or maybe this is after, because there's figures round this that are kind of bowing down and worshipping. So yeah, maybe way back in the ancient past there was some calamity and people prayed across the world for some kind of savior. You know, they prayed to the planet because they didn't understand what was going on, and maybe that's what summoned Hydaelyn for the very first time. That all that ether made Hydaelyn manifest, I guess. But of course, you know, light and dark can't exist for long. Oh, I've just noticed actually, all the way over there, we've got our party. What else is there in there? So we've got this Child of Light, which I'm assuming must be Minfilia, though it doesn't look a huge amount like her, holding back the flood of darkness. But that happened 100 years ago. So as I said, unless there's some kind of timey-wimey, spacey-wacy shenanigans, maybe that's what this bit here is trying to get across to us, that It's not 100% certain what's going on. What else have we got? So we've got lots of battles showing off various new zones,
Came to be. They were once living creatures.
showing the creation of the Sin Eaters.
Of the flood.
Um,
Once the change is wrought, there is no going back.
really like that music in the background. The voice. So we're assuming the voice is
The eternal light of these
right here.
has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place.
I've talked about that already.
The self-same ether relinquished by its predecessor.
Yeah, primordial is a word that is used to represent something from kind of very pure and primitive from the ancient past. Another definition of primordial is the first, the prime ordial, the prime number, if you like. So the first of, I think that's right, ordial, ordinance? Don't know. So the first of something. So primordial light is the light of the first created thing. So just like Zodiac was the first primal of darkness, Hydaelyn is the primordial light. She is the prime avatar of that. I really like this stuff about Yulmore, though. This idea that the decadence is something to do with that. These just look like reskinned handmaidens, the succubi. But they've got feathered wings. So these are not void scent, they are light scent. They are the opposite. So I think we're going to see some really interesting redesigns of enemies that we like. And I'm sure some people are going to say, oh, they're just reskinned enemies. And yeah, okay, fair enough, they are. They probably use the same skeletons, the same models, the same animations. But if you think about it from a story perspective and how rich that is, that's much more interesting, what they've had to do to create familiar but opposite renditions of these things. I love the fact that they're lounging around in luxury, just like in Hawk Manor. The succubi there are residing in such luxurious, decadent surroundings. I also find it interesting that the filter that's over a lot of stuff here is the same filter that was present for a lot of the Heavensward material and the darkness of that storyline, allowing the points of light to stand out a little bit more. Stroking the main. That's a different model. That is, I'm assuming, going to be a slightly higher up version of these Sin Eaters. I don't know which I prefer in terms of title. Void Scent's got a kind of certain punch and darkness to it. Sin Eaters is interesting. It very kind of Neo Automata in the kind of way that band is there. But it's almost like they're machines or cracked dolls, which I think is a very interesting guy. And this fat guy here, don't know what his name was. Kowaloth?
That's Volthree.
Volthree. Close. I like the Jester's cap as well. That's obviously, that was at what, level 52 piece of gear for range DPS, actually, wasn't it? The Jester hat. And I always thought it looked a bit silly, but it looks quite cool there. I don't know who that guy is, or this guy.
Of Yulmore society, but they must be fed with ether, living ether.
Yeah. So just like the Void Scent have decimated their world by absorbing everything, and that's one of the reasons why they break through to other worlds and get themselves summoned, is so that they can feast on the ether of living beings, because they can't feast on each other's. What was that? Oh, that was Ishtola doing her collective unconscious thing again, which she did as a white mage in the original 1.0 trailer, 2.0 trailer. And, you know, it's like, well, how could she do that if she's a white mage? Clearly, she's not even a white mage anymore. She's I think she's referred to as a witch in certain material. Yeah. Yeah, young Minfilia, reincarnated Minfilia. Not Minfilia at all, but he's going to be taken over by Minfilia. Alternate Minfilia? Don't know, we'll find out.
This world's beyond saving.
Oh, that is Minfilia. That's the word of the mother. I couldn't make it out previously, but I've just noticed the braids in the hair.
Like those who try to save it. Who try to save it.
Yeah, that's Rak'Tika, with his kind of crystallizing form. We still don't know why that's happening. But he summoned a fairy. Now, Rak'Tika originally was a bard / archer type, as far as we know. So the fact that he's got this... Was that a pixie? That might be a pixie.
Has had its fill of heroes.
This world has had its fill of heroes. I like that line. There's something for a game about, you know, exalting us and giving us purpose and presence as players. This idea that this world has just had enough of people trying to play the hero and failing and doing good deeds. Because, of course, in doing those good deeds, that's what's caused the Flood of Light in the first place. They did it too well. There was nobody to stand before them that was strong enough. The Ascians on the first failed miserably, and I'm assuming they're all gone because of that. Darth Maul. Solus is Darth Maul, confirmed. No, don't know. I don't know enough about the Ascians in terms of their symbology. This may or may not be the first time we've seen this, but it's clearly him unveiling something, revealing something. And if you do know stuff about the Ascians, by all means, leave it in the comments if you know who he is. I will go and look up some stuff before I, you know, finish editing this video together. Maybe that's him revealing himself to the party, to us. It was a really big, giant hand. So this is the Proto-Minfilia. She's clearly a rogue in this. Now, I think from the trust system screen, we did see that it was indeed Minfilia as a rogue. So this is who it is, but it's the mystery, the active question is, well, how did she get like this? Why is she so young? Was that a 3-headed baboon dog? That's a really cool boss. And actually, I think that was probably Titania there. This was Innocence, who we believe is going to be one of the kind of main antagonists / raid bosses. That's an 8-man. Who did we see there? Don't know whether we know who these two are. We don't see enough of them. Oh, actually, that might have been Nero, actually. Is that Nero? Yeah, actually, that might be Nero with the Allergan eye. It's quite dark. So maybe that's the side story. And yeah, that was the Heavensward book, wasn't it? That's Rak'Tika, Alphino, and Alizé in the Ethereal Void. Yeah, that was the copy of Heavensward by Count Edmond de Fortemps. Some of the tessellation here is a little bit off.
Everything we did.
Banquet training.
What was it for?
Alphino looks smaller there. I think that was the Warrior of Light as a gunbreaker. That was an interesting shot. So, I think that might be our first look at the first as a planet as a whole. And of course, if it is a reflection of Hydaelyn, then realistically, the land masses, what little you could see before this showed up, might also be indicative of things on our source. So we've got job actions, and I think I've talked about everything else. So we'll leave it at that, because otherwise I suspect I may end up repeating myself. So, what have we learned? We've learned that there's probably going to be timey-wimey, spacey, racy stuff going on. We've learnt a little bit more about the Sin Eaters, though not really anything that we couldn't have guessed at before. We've learnt a little bit more about Zodiac and Hydaelyn, kind of, but I think if you looked hard enough and put the clues together, you could have worked that out already. You know, about the nature of the gods, and the tempering and so on and so forth. But yeah, in terms of active questions, I'm really, really intrigued as to what's going on with Minfilia. In fact, what's going on with all of the Scions and the slight changes to them that are on the first. I hope we'll find out most of those, I think, probably in the vanilla version of Shadowbringers rather than the later patches. But really, what I'm most interested in is, can we win? What can we do across the course of however many patches that we've got that will actually make a difference? How can we, one person blessed by light or tempered, possibly, by light, assuming, you know, Solus is even vaguely telling the truth, but I suspect he probably is. How can we win when the stakes are basically, you know, there's only a very small bit of the first left? How can we beat the Sin Eaters, the Flood of Light? What can we do about it? That's the question that I am most interested in. How do we win? Clearly, we will be returning to Hydaelyn, the source, several times, because I'm guessing that Solus can't travel to the first. I'm guessing. So, you know, how is that going to tie in? That's interesting. Whereabouts in the storyline does this conversation that we have with the original Emperor of Golemont, where does that take place? This is why I like these story trailers, because I like trying to figure out, well, how do the pieces fall together? Anyway, I've rambled on for 30 minutes or so now. So if you came here looking for a deep dive analysis of the Shadowbringers launch trailer, you stumbled into the right place. Again, apologies for it being a little bit on the late side compared to all of these videos that were out earlier, but obviously, as you can probably tell, I had to go and teach young people for the day and mark a lot of books. Marked a lot of books today. Love my job, though. Do love my job. Got to talk about Gothic horror a little bit today. That's always fun. So I've been talking about story structure all day anyway, and I've come home to watch a trailer that is all about, for me at least, story structure. Good times. Thank you all very much for watching, folks. If you have any questions, if you have noticed things that I have missed, if some of the things that in here were surprises to you or not surprises to you, if you, like me, had already figured that, you know, the gods, Zodiac and Hydaelyn, were nothing more than glorified primals, let me know in the comments. I hope I haven't, like, been too condescending or anything in this video about, you know, these revelations and changes. It is about time that, you know, they spelt it out, maybe. But I'm not surprised really by any of that. What I am most interested, I'm not surprised by anything in this trailer. I'm interested in the questions that it has raised, and that for me makes a good trailer. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. Remember to ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, toodle pip.